Hey guys, the Knight here again, and we're gonna learn how to use pickup and picking up stuff and their application and how cool it is to use. So here in our initial setup, the restore scroll here on the ground is gonna be the item we want to pick up, and the water crystal on the left is actually gonna be a placeholder for the elevator. So our two goals here is we want to pick up that restore scroll and then get the L out of Dodge, reach that water crystal, which would be an elevator, and get out of the floor. So we would start here in our situation, and we would want to do these two things, but there would be monster on our trail. And we want to get there as fast as possible, and sometimes in this game you'll get to know that one square difference is actually a godsend. It's the difference between getting killed or surviving. So there we go. We would want to go, normally somebody would probably go down left, go down, pick it up, and then up left, left, and left. And be on the elevator. So if we count, actually, it would be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 movement to get on the elevator. You can actually use pickup here to get a better time. So you would want to go down left, then use triangle to make sure you rotate your body correctly. And we're gonna talk more about that in some videos, or we may have talked about it in other videos, depending on in which order you watch them. But there's action economy in this game, and some action doesn't really take your turn. So if you press circle and X to pick up, which is actually you hold circle and then press X, you're gonna pick up this restore scroll, and picking up doesn't take up your turn. So you can also go in at and, so the at feed menu has changed into at and when you're holding something. And you're gonna have access to restore scroll. You can also use, which is a little bit slower, go into items and then go to the right, and you're gonna have access to restore scroll. It's not important how you get here, but you want to get there. So let's say we do at the end. So you can also, from the menu, press up, it's faster. You press X, you have your options, and you can put it in, and put it in also doesn't take a turn. And then you can do left, left, and left. So from here it's 1, 2, 4, and 5 movements instead of 6. So this is one of the application of picking up stuff. Now there are others. If you own a weapon, okay, let's do this. Some people really like to pick up weapons on their way, and let's say we do this with our trained one here. Let's take it off, which doesn't take a turn, and let's have it in our hands. When they are in your inventory, you can actually pick up weapons and have them in your hands, and then by the same motion, actually, you press and hold circle, and while holding circle you press X, you're gonna throw what you have in your hands, and it's gonna deal an amount of damage. Throwing a sword is actually pretty powerful. One's not so much, and shield not so much, but then again, even if it's 6, 7, or 8 damage extra before battle starts, it can be the difference between winning or losing. So yeah, let's try not to die here. Oh, I might as well show it right here. You can also pick up monsters, and some monsters are too heavy to be lifted. So as you would see here, noise was too heavy to lift. But the things you can understand here, which is really interesting, is picking up a monster and failing take up your turn, but trying to pick up a monster that cannot be lifted, it doesn't take up your turn. So you can try it out if you're not sure, but keep in mind that if it actually could be liftable and you pick it up and you fail to pick up and it goes back again, then you're going to be hit in the face and lose a turn. So just make sure that if you don't know if it's too heavy or not, you can try it out, and if it ends up not being liftable, you won't lose a turn though. So let's just take care of this dude. There we go. And there we go. Alright. So let's try to see. Okay, there we go. Palumpa is probably the best to show it around. So come here, little buddy. So you can try and pick up monsters. If they just move like that, they're gonna get dropped down and attack you again. So the actual rate at which you can pick up a monster seems to be around 50%. We're pretty sure that we've got some really good streak and some really bad streak, but it seems to end up in a big pool of tries. It seems to even up. So it seems around about 50-50. And once you have a monster in hand, you have many options with it. But actually, you can move around as much as you want. There's no need for being stressed about it. These monsters cannot attack you anymore. There are a lot of situations which can be dangerous. If you get it by anything, you're gonna drop what you have in your hands, including the monster in this situation. So this might be dangerous. So if you're poisoned, don't take the chance to pick up a monster, because on your first turn after that, you're gonna receive poison damage and the monster is gonna be dropped down on the floor and still hit you. So that's not necessarily what you want to do here. You can actually put the monster down, and it does take your turn, but it also takes the monster turn. So you can try and pick it up again. You're not gonna get it by putting it down. You still generally don't want to do that because the monster is gonna be in melee with you. So the safest thing to do in most situations here is to, again, press and hold circle, and then while holding circle, press X. And we'll do the same thing we did with the train one earlier. We're gonna throw the monster out of our way. It doesn't always do it. Sometimes it turns them around also. But then you see now that it actually put it right back on my track. So it might save you a few turns if you throw it out of a room. It might help, but then again, you can throw monster at monster. It's going to deal damage on both of them. This is not necessarily the best way to go most of the time, but it still can be quite powerful. So let's kill this dude. Alright. Let's level up. That's good. And one last thing I want to try and show how. It might take a little bit longer, but bear with me. Oh, I think we're going to be good here. We're going to try it. So if there's a distance, a good distance between you and an enemy monster while you have something in your hand, it can be an item, but it's even more powerful with a monster, and I'm not sure this is going to work, so we'll explain it, and if it works, that's good. If it doesn't, that's alright too. You can throw the monster at the other one, and if there's enough distance between you and them, the monsters hitting each other is going to act as a wall. And the monsters both monsters actually are gonna say, oh, there's a wall here, so I cannot go on that square, and it's gonna turn around, and its AI is gonna change completely. Well, it's gonna go back to being what it is, but on the different direction. And we'll try it out. The fact that it is on the entrance of the room might screw it. I think it won't work, but let's try it out. Oh, it didn't work. Alright. Let's try it again in the corridor. This is mostly where you would use it. And there we actually go. So this troll has been thrown into the Palumpa, and right now the Palumpa has been affected by the AI is, okay, the square in front of me is actually a wall, and it's not. It's actually a square where the monster would be put on if it survived. It died in this time, but it works still. And the Palumpa has to go back because it believes it's a dead end, and now it's gonna go away from me. So it generally only works in corridor, because in room the AI of the monster change and it ohms into you no matter where you are in the room. But in corridors you can use that ability to make sure to turn back away a monster. This is A, finicky. This is B, an intense setup for a very situational payout. But it can save your life. So just the fact that you know about it now is definitely a plus. But how to implement it in a run, generally you just, if you are in that situation, you might want to try it out, but you generally don't work towards being in that situation, because if it fails, you're in trouble, my friend. But so you know more about picking up stuff and throw it away, and that it doesn't take your turn. You can pick up monsters, and it's a 50-50, and you can use to throw them away from your the room you're in, or far away from you in the corridor. And if you hit another monster with it and it's far away, they both might want to get the other way around, so it might be worth trying out. So see you guys, and thank you for watching.